Davemadson Films Inc. presents
The Davemadson ilovelogos75 Filmstrip Club. Sharing with Neighbors. This film is produced by William P. Gottlieb Co. in collaboration with Ruth Ellsworth, Ph.D. of the Wayne University. Neighbors often share by helping each other and by working together. When neighbors share, each one benefits. The entire neighborhood benefits, too. This story will tell how Steve's neighborhood is better off by sharing. Goodness, says Mom to Steve. I haven't any eggs for my cake. The egg box is empty. It's Sunday, too, Steve remembers, and all the stores are closed. But Mom knows where to get eggs. Just wait, she tells Steve. Mom borrows eggs from Mrs. Logan, a neighbor. I'll pay you back tomorrow, she says. Soon the cake is finished. Glad we have neighbors, Steve thinks. Monday after shopping, Mom gives back as many eggs as she borrowed. She gives Mrs. Logan some cake, too. Are people better off when they help a neighbor? Was Mrs. Logan better off? Was Mom better off? How about Steve? Can Mrs. Logan expect help from Steve's mom when she needs it? Once when Mom and Dad had to go away for a little while, Mr. and Mrs. Logan and their son Robbie took care of Steve. Another time, when Mrs. Logan was sick, Steve's mother helped her. Sometimes neighbors share to save money. For example, Steve's father shares rides with a neighbor. Both men work at the other end of town. On one day the neighbor drives his car to work. Next day Steve's father drives his car. By sharing, they save money on gas. If it takes a gallon of gas to go to work and back, how much gas is saved each day they sharing rides? There are other reasons why neighbors share. Many times they share because it's fun. Does your family ever have fun with neighbors? You have seen how neighbors share with each other. Now let's see how a whole neighborhood shares by doing things together. Steve's whole neighborhood shares in collecting food for those in need. Everyone in the neighborhood gives a little. Together they give a lot. The neighborhood gave money to build the monument. It is in memory of neighbors who went to war. The neighborhood shares the cost of its firehouse. No one family could buy it, but together they can buy it. Neighbors share the cost by paying taxes. What other things do neighbors get with taxes? When people are neighbors, they can help each other by sharing. But there are many things that neighbors don't want to share. Robbie doesn't want to share his apple. Is Robbie right? Why? Steve won't lend Robbie his bike. Once a boy left Steve's bike in the rain. But the boy wasn't Robbie. Just the same, Steve won't lend his bike to anyone again. Is he right? Mrs. Davis doesn't want to share her lawn with Steve and his puppy. Keep off my lawn, she scolds. Mrs. Davis worked hard on her lawn. She doesn't want it dug up. Do you think she should scold Steve? What are some ways in which you and your neighbors don't share? Why? What are some ways in which you and your neighbors do share? Why? Are people better off when they have neighbors or worse off? Why? Many places, like schools, need a great deal of help. Steve's neighbors share in helping. They share by paying taxes. The school uses tax money to buy things it needs. Neighbors also raise extra money for the school. Mother is making these cakes for a school sale. Neighbors take all kinds of things to the sale. Other neighbors buy them. Boys and girls, as well as grown-ups, buy at the sale. The money goes to the school. There are other ways neighbors help the school. Mom and Mrs. Logan are making costumes for a dance festival. Dad is making the maypole. Other fathers make other things. On the day of the festival many people come to watch. Because so many neighbors are there, the festival is more fun. The boys and girls do their best so everyone will be proud of them. See how pretty the costumes are. That's because so many people helped. We thank the neighborhood for helping the school, a teacher says. The neighbors are called to help. And the boys and girls are glad their neighbors are so helpful. What are some ways that your school and your neighborhood work together? Just ask a friend when this video is over. And can also, for these film strips at local library or flea market including these titles. Robbie's neighborhood. Different neighbors. Sharing with neighbors. places we all own, neighborhood workers, and in and out of the neighborhood. Plus you can look out for the home community and the school community. These film strips and many more are at your local library and flea market. The end. The Encyclopedia Britannica Films presentation. Produced by Davemadson and ilovelogos75. Filmstrip production images, provided by Archives.org. Created with Windows Movie Maker. A Davemadson ilovelogos75 production.
This has been a Davemadson Films Inc. production.